Hello, I'm Philip Hughes. I'm going to talk about the use of slides in films, and I thought the best way of doing that was to develop a film in which I illustrated that use. Most of my films are travel documentaries, and it's in that context I've found most use for slides. I started taking slides more than 50 years ago, some 10 years before I purchased a movie camera. It was my practice to record a commentary on this machine. I used one of the stereo channels for my commentary, music, and the other stereo channel for a beep, which was interpreted by a small gadget which then changed the slide.
We had plenty of cupboard space and 2 wash basins. There were large ordinary windows.
Even when I had a movie camera, the expense of movies compared with the expense of slides led me to continue to create my audio visuals, supplementing those slides from time to time with some film. Today I continue to take a lot of slides in my travels for several purposes. I use them in calendars and in backgrounds, on my computer and on my television, and sometimes in conjunction with my green screen. But I can also incorporate them into my films. For me, the greatest challenge in making good travel films that other people may want to watch is the stability of the film. I struggled with stability in this film, for example, and ended up replacing it with a still that I took at the same time. I always travel with a tripod, but I find that on many occasions I can't use it. Frequently, museums and other places of interest forbid the use of tripods. They're certainly very difficult to use in crowds or when one is on the move. They're time-consuming to set up, particularly when you're with a group of people. I remember that I did a tour with a small group of people in Turkey. One member of the group did all his photography with a tripod, and he was late back to the bus every time we stopped. We just didn't get as far with him. The problem of stability has been somewhat alleviated with the stabilisation that's built into new cameras and lenses, like this, my latest camera, and with the amazing stability with the Osmo, with its gimbal. But I still find stability an issue. One of the other advantages of taking stills is that on most cameras, and certainly on mine, the number of pixels and the detail of the photograph is significantly higher on the still than it is on the movie. And this means that one can do things in the movie that one cannot do with what has been filmed. On the other hand, stills are best for some things and not for others. I've always thought the stills are more important in documentaries of Europe than in documentaries of Asia. In Europe, many of my documentaries revolve around stable objects such as buildings and monuments, landscapes and cityscapes. In Asia, my documentaries revolve much more around people and movement, markets and festivals. In Asia, film is more important to capture people and movement. I prepare my slides in Luminar. I use this for any cropping that needs to be done, rotation, changing of the colours, luminescence. And in Luminar I can even change the skies to change the mood of the picture. Not only are there 29 different sky patterns in the basic set in Luminar, but each of these can be varied in terms of temperature, exposure, focus, the gaps in the clouds, the position of the horizon and its blending. Then there are a wide range of options for the placement of the sun and the design of its rays, and the extent to which the scene can be relit in relation to the changed sky. A similar large range of options are also available for enhancing portraits. I work on the raw version and then save the result as a JPEG. I then incorporate it into the film, which I create with Corel Video Studio. The important thing about slides is incorporating some movement in them. Almost always I customise the panning. The way that I do that depends on the story. Is this a building that I am entering or which I am now leaving? The window on the left shows the original slide and the path that is plotted on it. The window on the right shows the movement that is being created. Am I scanning the environment? Or am I looking for something particular in it that I want to draw attention to? Certainly the movement that's available in films gives one a lot more ability to draw attention to particular things than was possible in the old days of showing a slide on a slide projector. Usually I don't want to make the movement too fast, so what I can do depends on the time that the still is being shown within the film. One of the advantages of stills, however, is that one can vary the time that they're on the screen much more easily than one can vary that of the film itself if one is using the original sound. My aim is to make films in such a way that the stills appear quite natural within the film. They don't jump out as being stills in a moving world. And thus having stills of people is often not very helpful. On the other hand, one can sometimes use stills which take a different viewpoint, while people are doing things to cover up problems in the original video. Whether I'm successful in all of that is something that you can judge.